You're watching Detroit on Deck. Here are your hosts, Dave Cesefske and Josh Clark.
What's going on, everybody? Another episode of Detroit on Deck. It's been a little bit, Josh, but love that new jersey you got there, man. Let's show what jersey number is that? Oh, that's McGrady, T-Mac.
Yeah, number
Man.
one, Tracy McGrady, T-Mac.
So you didn't want the Charles Oakley?
No, so I was really hoping for the Antonio Davis.
There you go, man. Antonio Davis killed the Pistons in the playoffs, even though they beat them. So he was a little bit of a.
Gotta show my boy some love being a Pacer.
What about Junkyard Dog?
Oh yeah, good old Jerome.
Right?
Yeah.
Good for a couple boards here and there.
Absolutely.
So we want to start we go back into our top 10 lists. Obviously, the MLB season is coming up quick. I don't know about you, man, but spring training, I've watched too much of it, and it's been boring, and you don't see enough of your guys. And but since then, we've talked.
I'm just ready. I'm just ready for the major league competitiveness.
Oh, of course, man. And now Cody's back with the Cubs. The Tigers should be much better this year. So it's gonna be interesting. Josh, what I want to do with this list is I want to work our way to number one. I'll tell you my number 10. You tell me your number 10, and then we'll kind of go back and forth a little bit, have a little bit of discussion. Won't go too crazy, but at least maybe 30 seconds a pick. We'll talk about it. My number 10 is Jazz Chisholm. I think the combination of power, speed, on base. He's 26 years old, still young. I really, really like Jazz Chisholm. And I put Brandon Nimmo at 11 and brought Chisholm on the list. Thoughts?
No, I got Chisholm a little bit higher on my list, but not much higher, but a little bit.
All right, who's number 10 for you?
Number 10, I have Michael Harris.
Ooh, okay, he's on my list, but not so low. So
I have Michael Harris. Not gonna lie, I don't know much about him. I know he's a speedster. I know he plays great defense. He doesn't hit for a lot of power. He's more of a singles double guy.
Yeah.
Which every team needs. But yeah, I like the way he plays defense, which I know a lot about. His defense, not much about his offense, but just from that standpoint alone, he's gonna steal you a bag. He's gonna play above average defense. So and the Braves are just good. So
I was gonna say in that lineup,
gotta show them some love.
And that lineup, as long as you can catch the ball in center, you're good. Yeah. They got some dudes that can pick up the slack. Number 9 for me, Josh, I got Riley Green. I absolutely love Riley Green. I think he's going to be an absolute stud. However, coming off Tommy John surgery, I know he's not a pitcher, but we'll see how that impacts him. If not at all, maybe he just DHs a lot. I don't know. I imagine he's going to be ready to go. Last year, hit 288, 11 homers, 37 RBIs, but he only had 416 plate appearances. We know that he was hurt, but he's just 21, man. He's 21 years old. Feels like he should be 26, 27 because we've been talking about him forever, but we got him out of high school. He's going to be a stud. Who's your number 9?
My number 9, I have World Series champion Chas McCormick.
Oh, wow. He is one of those guys, man, that you think, oh, he's probably just a slap hitter. And then he's got sneaky pop too.
Yeah. I have Chas McCormick. Again, he's a defending champ. You got to give them a little bit of love. Don't watch a lot of Astros ball games unless it's, postseason time, obviously, because we're going to be there. So, what I have seen of him in the postseason, I know he's a quick, defender. I know he's above average. I know he's going to hit for power.
And he's clutch.
Driving some runs. He was clutch, especially last year. So, for those reasons, I feel like he is, definitely in that top 10 and, worthy of that number 9 spot.
Yeah, I feel like for a few years he was one of those guys that just wasn't getting enough at bats, because they had a lot of guys, but now they're like, okay, he's got something to give, man. Who's your number 8? We'll go you first.
My number 8, I'm not gonna lie, I know this guy's good. I just hate the team, and that's Byron Buxton.
I mean, injuries all the time.
Yeah, he's injured. I don't get me wrong, listeners out there. I know the guy's talented. I know he's a stud. Again, It's just my hatred for the Minnesota Twins. I can't rank him any higher, and there is some studs above him as well. So for that reason, mainly the injuries is why he fell so low. If he wasn't injured, he's debatable top 4. If we're being honest.
Oh, of course, he's got. Honestly, he has all the tools. It's just he's never healthy. Never healthy. So, and he was so injured last year, they were going to leave him off the playoff roster. You know what I mean? Like that. What does that tell you? It's not good. Number 8 for me, Josh, is James Outman for the Dodgers. Last year, as a rookie, hit 250, 23 homers, 70 RBIs, 16 stolen bases. He's 25, but he's going to be their everyday center fielder, and I think his rookie campaign said enough, right? He had a great year.
Yeah, no, I do like James Outman. Unfortunately, he did not make my list. He was kind of on that borderline.
A lot of guys.
I threw Chaz in there over him, if I'm being honest. But no, I agree 100%. He had a great, phenomenal rookie year. Came out of nowhere. I didn't know much about the guy. I believe the series I did watch against him where he just went crazy was against the Cubs. And, obviously he can play. So,
So,
and, the Dodgers, one of the most storied franchises in baseball, obviously, seen something in you, gave you the chance, and you're a stud. So good for him.
Yeah. I got a chance to see him when I was in Amarillo covering sports when the Dodgers minor league team came there, their AA team. It was wild, man. So in that same game, I had Corbin Carroll playing. I watched him, and then James Outman, and James Outman went deep a couple times. So I was like, okay, this guy's got something because his numbers were great in the minor leagues. And usually your best talent is in AA. It's not in AAA. All right.
I'll be a believer of him this year because, teams are going to pitch around Betts. They're going to pitch around Ohtani. They're going to pitch around Freeman. They're going to pitch around, you know what I'm saying? Like these guys who aren't really.
Somebody's going to get pitches.
In that lineup is going to get pitches. It's going to be Outman. It's going to be probably Teoscar Hernandez, the big.
It ain't going to be Jay Hay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's going to be people of that caliber who are going to see these pitches, especially in a close, just say 2-2 ball game in the bottom of the 8th with the top of the order coming up. Ohtani's getting walked for sure.
Oh, yeah. It's funny.
You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be Outman. It's going to be those guys lower down in the lineup who are going to need to prove themselves to be.
It's funny you say that, man. That's a great point, honestly, because we're going to get into catchers eventually here in the next week or so. And, I think their catcher – is going to have Will Smith is going to have a huge year because he's going to get pitches.
He'll probably be the 5-hitter behind Freeman.
Why not? He's got pop, right? So I think he can hit 30-plus homers. So it'll be interesting. You are at number 7 now?
Number 7, I have Baltimore Orioles, Cedric Mullins.
Ooh, Ced Mullins is a stud, man. Why'd you put him there?
Basically, I just love the way he plays the game. He's not going to give you much power. He's a stolen base machine. He's quick as heck on the outfield. He does have some injury concerns. The Orioles were good last year, and a lot of that reason is because of the defensive play, and a lot of that is, the center field spot, and obviously your shortstop and second baseman up the middle there. So, and they won over 100 games. Kind of crapped the bed in the playoffs, which is kind of normal for them. But, no, I like Cedric Mullins' game. Honestly, I wasn't a big fan of him coming out, but I kind of watched him over, the last year and a half, and kind of fell in love with what he does and what he brings to a team. So
you say he doesn't have a ton of pop, but honestly,
I don't think so. If he does, it's sneaky pop because I didn't see much of it. I've seen him play live 3 times. And
it's actually is sneaky pop, man. So for Mullins, I think it was it 2000, and I'm gonna pull up his stats here on ESPN. But he's actually got quite a bit of pop. He had 15 homers last year, but he was hurt a lot. But I believe he had close to a 30-30 season a couple years ago. Now, it wasn't last year. Obviously, he had 15. The year before that, he was injured a lot. But let me pull it up here. So, home runs.
No, I got it right here.
You got him?
I have hits, RBIs, average. Let me see here.
There we go.
Home runs 15. So he's got 68 on his career.
Right. I think he one year he had like 30. I believe somewhere around there if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, it was a couple years ago. So anyways, listen, he's a great player. He does a lot of good things. And that team right there is going to be stacked, and they're full of young guys. He's one of the veterans, to be honest with you. ESPN does a good job of bringing up stats here, but of course, when I need it. Oh, here we go. I got you.
You also look at someone like Mullins, too, though. Like, a lot of his bat is going to, deteriorated because he doesn't hit forever either, though.
So here in 2021, okay, That's what I said a couple years ago. 30 home runs. He hit for 291 that season, and he had 30 stolen bases. A 30-30 season, to me, that is a great center fielder. So
a great center fielder, but you got to think that is he a one-hit wonder then? 'Cause, I mean, over 5 years, then he's only had 38 home runs. Basically, matched that in one
he went
season.
30, but the thing is he went 30, 16, and 15, right? So in that year that he hit 30, he had 159 games he played. The next year, 156, just 16. But his RBIs went up and his stolen base. Right. And Josh, his on base percentage is good. I mean, it's over 300. It's pretty solid. But anyways, we won't spend the whole show on Cedric Mullins. But for me, number 7 is a guy that's really unproven, but I really, really like what I've read about him.
We're on number 6.
No, well, for me, I didn't give you 7 yet. So, Yep, I gave you 8. I didn't get you 7. Number 7 for me is Young-Ho Lee. Young-Ho Lee coming over from South Korea. He's got a lot of speed. There's not a lot of pop in that bat from what we've heard. Throughout his KBO career, he's been one of those guys that's been one of the better hitters in South Korea. So I think him coming over here, he got a lot of money. He got like $100 million. But last year in the KBO, in 387 plate appearances, say what you want about that. 318 average, just 6 homers, 45 RBIs. He's got a good glove too. So he may hit like 1 homer all season, but that's a big center field in San Francisco. So it's a big task. So yeah, who's your 6?
My number 6, that's where I have Jazz Chisholm.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, a lot. He does everything.
I have Jazz Chisholm there, and if I'm being honest, it's not because of how good he is in center field, because obviously we know he's new to the position, but it's just him as an overall player. Like, the guy's an absolute stud hitter. He doesn't really hit for the average I would like. He's only a 250 hitter last year, so I'd like to see that be brought up a little bit more. But other than that, I mean, he hits for some power. 19 home runs last year. He only had 51 RBIs. His on-base percentage was over 300, so that's great.
Yep.
And then he's a doubles and triples hitter. Honestly, he had 12 doubles, three triples last year, 19 home runs, 51 RBIs. But he also gets on base though too. He had 26 walks.
Yeah, and he had kind of a down year too. So
that was only 97 games he drew and 26 walks. Like that's a season for most people. So you equate that to a full season. I mean, you're looking at potentially 25, 75, and probably close to 40, 45 walks.
Not to mention, they're going to have more they got some more established hitters there as well this year. Josh Bell's there for a whole season. I think he'll help, right?
Veteran president Tim Anderson had a down year, but the vet presence is going to be nice.
He'll turn it around. I believe it. Yeah, I'm with you. And $5 million, like, that was a steal. You had to do that. So number 5 for you, Josh.
Number 5. This is where I have.
Oh, we're at number 6. I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't give 6. Yep.
Yeah, number 6 for you, yeah.
Yep, number 6 for me. Michael Harris. I mean, you already had him on your list. Wow. 293, 18 homers, 57 RBIs, and 20 stolen bases, and he was like a Gold Glove center fielder. So he's kind of dominant out there. He just has great defense. The thing for him is just, I got to see more of it. But he has the ability to be a top 5 center fielder. I just need to see more consistency, and we'll see if that bat continues to do what it should do, is progress. 18 homers is nothing to laugh about, man. And 293, I'll take that all day. Now, it doesn't hurt that he's got those guys around him. Got a lot of good players. I wonder what he would look like if he was on like a Pirates team, right? But hey, nevertheless, I really like him. He comes in at number 6 for me.
So moving on to my number 5, this is where I have the guy that you so-called love, and that's Riley Green.
Yeah, I love him, man.
I have him at number 5. So
okay.
I might love him a little bit more.
Hey, that's fine. I mean,
just based on what he did last year, like, that team got so much better once he was back on the field.
Yeah.
If we're being completely honest, like you said, he's only 21, 22 years old, but like, people were excited to get him back. He's kind of a vet in that locker room. He's been around.
Oh yeah, man.
2 years now compared to some of those younger kids. So I mean, just last year in 56 games, 288 average, 11 home runs, 37 RBIs, and 7 stolen bases.
Right. He's gonna be good.
That's basically a third of a season. Like, so you're talking potentially, he's got 30 run potential.
I think he's a guy that can win a batting title. Like, he's that smooth.
100%.
He's that smooth with it. So his big thing too is defense. He's kind of struggled with defense. He has an issue, and they talked about it in Tigers broadcast a few times. Diving for balls. He doesn't dive for balls. So doesn't do it very often. And the problem is he doesn't get to more balls that he should. And obviously this is an era of baseball where metrics are a big deal, right? So he doesn't grade out well defensively, but he's got speed. And center field in Comerica it's a beast, man. So remember, we've seen Austin Jackson do some great things. Granderson did some good things, but it's tough. So I guess it's number 5 for me. This is where the list starts to get tough, because this dude is an absolute stud and really is an MVP candidate, in my opinion, this year. Luis Robert Jr., absolute stud, hit .265, 38 homers, 80 RBIs, 20 stolen bases. I'd like to see those RBIs up a bit, but for me, that just says the guys didn't get on base. You hit 38 jacks, you better be over 100 RBIs. So I don't know if that's because he didn't come through in the clutch, but Luis Robert came from Cuba a few years ago, finally healthy, 26 years old, still young. He is the full package, and he's a star.
Yeah. I mean, I like Luis Roberts Jr. I'm not gonna lie to you. I kept him off my list.
Yeah, that's wild. So
it's not wild though when you think about it though. I take winning into consideration. Like, the guy,
38 homers.
The guy's an absolute stud, but what did it contribute to?
I mean, that's not his fault. Baseball, man. There's 9 dudes out there.
I mean, I get it though, but who you taking off that was? I mean, you got Michael Harris on a winning team, McCormick on a winning team.
I would take Chas McCormick off for sure.
Yeah, you can't though.
I mean, I would. I just don't think there's enough talent.
I think Luis Roberts, he's top 4 in terms of offensive for sure. Defensively, I don't think.
Oh, he is.
I don't think against any of these guys. I'll take any of these guys defensively over him. I don't care what the numbers say.
Oh, he's a star. He's an absolute star. So
offensively, 100%.
Defensively too, he's Gold Glove caliber.
He's too big for my liking.
Yeah, he's Gold Glove. That's the same thing you could say if you want to talk about O'Neal Cruz at shortstop. Everybody says that. But he's a star.
He's tall. O'Neal Cruz is tall. Roberts is big.
Well, Luis Robert is a star, but we disagree there, and that's fine. But who's your 4? Or your 5, I'm sorry.
My 5, that's where I have Mr. Cub, Cody Bellinger.
Okay, I guess I love Cody more because he's higher on my list, but that's all right.
Yeah, I have Cody Bellinger there. And this is actually number 4.
Yeah, okay.
This is my 4, Cody Bellinger. Obviously, comeback player of the year, 26 homers, 97 RBIs, hit just over 300. So definitely,
yeah. If we're talking,
definitely one of those players where it's like we know he has the potential, but can you put it back-to-back seasons? Like, we know what he.
Well, that's going to be scary.
We know what he did in LA, but he also had that injury concern in LA. So I'm hoping last year was kind of the revitalization of his career and where he can get back on track and put together back-to-back good seasons, in a Cubs uniform, and hopefully help us win the division and get to the playoffs.
Well, I mean, when he went into free agency, it was almost a foregone conclusion that he was leaving Chicago. But what helped both of us is he's kind of got a prove-it deal where he can opt out after a year, right? So, like, his deal's $80 million over 3 years. That's a steal for the Cubs. That's a steal. So
30 this year, 30 next, 20 and 20.
Right. He will not be here past 1 year if he has a big year. Okay. Right. It's kind of like the Michael Conforto deal when he went to the Giants a couple years ago. It was he had an opt out, but It was okay. He had to have a big year. He had been out of baseball for a while. Bellinger was absolutely atrocious in his last couple of years with the Dodgers. I'm talking
I think one of those seasons he hit 160.
Yeah. I mean, the worst hitter in baseball. But before that, he had been a dude that was MVP candidate, right? Really good. And it looked like he got back to that. Now, in LA, he had hit 40 homers 1 year, right? A couple of years, I think. So
2019 MVP.
I think what he's doing now, if you look at his numbers, 307, 26 homers, 97 RBIs, 20 stolen bases. He's not trying to swing for the fences every time. He doesn't need to do that, man. He's got a great bat, a beautiful swing from the left side, and I think he's just trying to whatever comes his way, right? Like if he slaps something out to left field, if he hits something through the hole, great. Yeah, he's going to hit a lot of home runs, but he doesn't have to be a 40-plus home run guy to be an MVP candidate. So for me, yes, we love him the same because he does come in at number 4 for me. Now, number 3 for you. Who's number 3?
Number 3, that's why I have Mike Trout.
That's Mike Trout for me too. We agree.
I have Mike Trout at 3, and honestly, it's just because of a couple guys who are just about they're younger, they're just as talented. If we're being honest, probably the only 5 tool players at the position are these next 3 guys we're about to talk about.
I made 82 games last year. It's like the dude can't stay healthy anymore, man.
Yeah.
Maybe he got too big,
Yeah. Health is definitely a big concern for me too. I'm shocked that he's back with the Angels. I'm surprised they didn't try to come off.
I hate it. I hate it, actually.
I'm surprised he wanted to stay, honestly.
Well, he's so loyal, man, because like the thing is they interviewed him.
But loyalty can only get you so far, though.
No, I agree.
Like Dame Lillard, he gave him 12, 13.
And his career wasted there.
They did nothing to help him. Same thing with Trout. He's given him enough time to help build the team. They're like, go win you a ring because you deserve it.
Yeah, I mean, I think also it broke his heart when Ohtani left too because he was like, all right, I'm never gonna win here. But I'm with you. They're loyal to a fault, man. Because if I'm him, I'm going to Artie Moreno and I'm saying trade me because you've ruined my career. I mean, this guy's
depending on where they're at the deadline this year. I mean, I don't expect them to be much, but if they're like 30 games out of it, or heck, even if they're competing, like, look, my value's high right now. You're gonna get some studs back in return. Like, get me out of here
if he's healthy. But yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I would love to see Mike Trout in a Cubs uniform or something, like a good market where like they'll support him and because honestly, a lot of people don't know how good this man is, and it's wild. Because he's our version of like friggin' Mickey Mantle or something, like the dude is just a stud. So yeah, for me, he comes in at number 3. Got to see more games out of him. Number 2 for me, Josh, Julio Rodriguez, the best smile in baseball, the best smile in baseball.
Our 1 and 2 are flipped.
So I just really love this kid, man. I mean, last year, a little bit of a down year, and it's wild that it's a down year when you can hit 32 homers and 37 stolen bases, 103 ribbies. At 275, I believe can be above 300. He's that type of guy. He had a rookie season of 30-30. Did it again this year. The kid is just awesome, and he's 23 years old. So
exactly. No, my number 2 is Aaron Judge.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you have 1. I have Julio. So, Aaron Judge again. I mean, he's a stud. There's no denying that. But there's
health.
Also, that. Yeah, there's also that health concern with him. With the whole foot, ankle, toe thing, whatever the heck it is.
Yeah.
That he has going on. That he says he's going to have to kind of monitor now his entire career.
And that's concerning a bit. Yeah.
So that could, that plays a factor. So I mean, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because it's really his first true major injury, I want to say. I know he's been injured in the past, but like majorly, I feel like this might be
lingering injury. Yeah, it's the first
lingering.
Yep.
That's a good way to put it. Yes. But yeah, I mean, just what he does in the batter's box too. Like you can't put him lower than 2, and there's an argument for number 1, obviously. But again, I hate the Yankees, so some bias there. So he's staying at number 2.
I don't like the Yankees at all. So I hear you on that one, man. But so my number 1 is Aaron Judge, as we just said. I mean, he's just incredible. Like he's so good at everything. I mean, his pop is amazing. We know that he hit 70 homers, 71 homers. So I mean,
he's speed on the bases.
He does, and he's a great outfielder too. He's got a great arm. So like he makes people around him better. I tell you, I will say this. If Giancarlo Stanton can be healthy this season with Soto, Stanton, and Aaron Judge, watch out, dude. Because those guys...
Even if Rizzo can get back to his form in Chicago a couple years ago where he hit 300, even if they can get like a 260, 270 year out of him, that makes them even more dangerous with him in the 4 or 5 spot.
100%, man. 100%. And I do want to get to some MLB breaking news too, but I just want to hear, obviously, why you went Julio at 1.
Yeah, Julio's my number one for reasons that you kind of already mentioned. The 30-30 seasons back to back. He's so young. A lot of guys don't do that their whole entire career. So to do that to his first couple of years in the league shows that he is a superstar, in my opinion. To come in as a rookie and show up on the biggest stage. And take a team who's literally been basically nothing. Since Ichiro has been there, and they only made the playoffs a couple of times with Ichiro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
he's got the best smile in the game too, doesn't he, man? He's always smiling.
He just seems to be a good time.
Right.
But,
right.
Yeah. Just for those reasons alone, like you said, 23 years old, the 30 seasons back to back. It's impressive at such a young age. Like I said, a lot of players don't do that their whole entire career. So to come into the league and set that as your precedent, what you expect from yourself, year in and year out, it's just impressive at such a young age. And I just think he's going to get better.
Thanks for listening to Detroit on Deck. Be sure to like and subscribe to our page for more Detroit content.